It's been referred to as a world on its own, or the Rainbow Nation. Touchdown, Johannesburg. Ever since Portuguese sailor Bartholomew Dias rounded the Cape of Good Hope in 1457, South Africa has enthralled and beckoned those in search of opportunity and fortune.
All that you see behind me was once golden savanna grassland, like this. And then in September 1886, gold was discovered, and the city of Johannesburg was born. And it's now a sprawling metropolis of 6 million people, known as Egoli, the city of gold.
The gold in them thar hills brought a flood of prospectors, and the township rapidly grew. At Gold Reef City, you can visit a recreation of 19th century Joburg. Joni Downs Shaft number 14 opened in 1887 and only closed after 84 years of operation in 1971. Watch the original mining techniques and gaze at the flow of gold from the furnace before you venture back to the sunlight. Many seeking their fortunes today head to the casinos that have sprung up around the country. Our next stop was Soweto. With a population of over 2 million, the sprawling township is the biggest black urban settlement in Africa and the true heart of the apartheid struggle. Take a walk through the busy city markets.
Like behind me at the back here, I have white bottles which have glycerin which would serve like Vaseline, which we use over our winter months. And the black bottles have an insecticide for our drains and toilets.
This is Freedom Square, which was recently renamed the Walter Sisulu Square of Dedication. And in 1955, a delegation of 30,000 convened here to adopt a 10-point freedom charter to transform South Africa into a democratic nation. It all started here. This is one of the most famous streets in South Africa, Vilakazi Street in the Orlando West township of Soweto. And here in this street, the home of 2 Nobel Peace Prize recipients. Behind me, the home of Nelson Mandela, and just down the road, the home of Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
From Nelson Mandela's home, we ventured to the one place that takes you through the apartheid story in graphic detail.
The Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg traces the history of racial segregation in South Africa. It was opened to the public in November 2001, and it's one of the most important tourist attractions in the country.
Your harrowing journey begins as it did for many people in the past. Clutching an entry card labelled black or white, you'll travel the hard road to democracy, past enlarged copies of racial identity cards and passbooks. A team of filmmakers, historians and artists was assembled to develop the exhibition narrative.
Inside the museum, you'll find all the elements that depict the struggle for freedom at the height of the apartheid era between 1948 and 1991.
The museum leads you through room after room in a zigzag of shapes, some with tall spaces, others dark and close, many looking through to images behind bars or cages. After a few hours, you'll feel that you were in the townships in the 70s and 80s yourself, dodging police bullets and tear gas canisters.
This is a Casper, an armoured vehicle used by the police and defence forces to quell riots in the streets of the cities, especially during the 1980s.
Dangling from the roof, 121 nooses represent the political prisoners that were hanged during apartheid's history.
As a show of support for the emergence of the new South Africa and the values that it holds, you're given the opportunity to place a stone on this pile. The growth of this pile of stones is a symbol of the growth of the Rainbow Nation.